I would like to read for you a very special book written by my dear friend Trace Wilson, and it's called Uniquely Me, illustrated by Anna Sebastian. Once there was a little boy who only had one hand. One day, the boy noticed all of his friends had two hands. "I'm different," the boy said. He wanted to find out why. He walked through the woods until he saw a large snake. "Snake," the boy asked, "why don't I have two hands?" "Why don't you have a tail?" the snake replied. Then he slithered away. The boy didn't understand, so he kept walking until he found a small pond with a fish in it. "Fish?" the boy asked. "Why don't I have two hands?" "Why don't you have scales?" the fish replied. Then he swam away. The boy, still confused, climbed a tree until he found a large bird sitting at the top. "Bird," the boy asked, "why don't I have two hands?" "Why don't you have wings?" the bird asked. Then he flew away. "I don't know," the boy said, becoming sad. He kept walking until he found a leopard lying under a tree. The leopard was older and wiser than the other animals. He had a patch over a scar on his left eye. "Boy," he asked, "why don't you have spots?" The boy thought for a minute, then replied, "Why don't you have eyes?" "Because I don't need two eyes to know that I'm still a leopard." Then he walked away. The boy finally understood. He ran back past the bird, past the fish, and past the snake. He ran all the way back to his friends. The boy's friends looked at him and asked, "Why don't you have two hands?" The boy replied proudly, "Because I don't need a tail, or scales, or wings, or spots, or two hands to know who I am. This is the way I was made, and I am uniquely me." The end. I hope that you enjoyed this reading of Uniquely Me, written by Trace Wilson. This is a wonderful book to get your kids if you have little children and to read to them before bedtime. It's a beautiful little story, and I highly recommend it. Thank you all for listening, and I look forward to sharing more stories like this with you in the very near future. Good night.